Hi there everyone, welcome back to the Productive Plans YouTube channel. Today we're going to walk through the Event Planner Spreadsheet we have available. Maybe you're planning a birthday, a baby shower, a hen do, whatever it is, the moment you say yes, the lists begin to start. You have to start thinking about the venue, the budget, the guest list, the theme, the food, the suppliers, the decorations, and before you know it, it's all just sitting in your head and you've got nowhere to put it. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through our event planner spreadsheet. It's got 20 tabs that will take you from your very first brainstorm all the way through to the day itself, so nothing gets missed and nothing gets forgotten. I've added the link in the description below if you want to grab it. And we've also got a free event planning checklist down there if you want to grab that too. It's completely free, just sign up and I'll send it over. And let's get into the spreadsheet. So we'll start over here on the first tab called Read Me First. It's actually worth reading this before you touch anything else. The most important step, you need to make sure you've made your own copy of the spreadsheet so you can start using it. To do this, go to File, then click Make Copy, and it will save to your own Google Drive, meaning you've got your own personal version, as this one's just view only. You can also set the currency here by clicking on this cell, and all the budget figures throughout the spreadsheet will correctly populate across the whole planner. It's also worth noting that if you try and type into a cell that is formula protected, you'll get a warning pop up. I'd always recommend clicking cancel and not OK, and none of the formulas will break and you'll be completely fine. It's worth noting we do have two versions of the event planner at the moment, one in our pink and green colourway and also one in our neutral colourway. Today we are going to be going through the pink and green, but they all remain the same. To start with, we're going to move over to the Details tab, and you can do this either by clicking down there or clicking into this cell to set the currency, as mentioned previously. So here we can start adding information that will populate across the rest of the spreadsheet. And at the top of each tab, you'll also have tab instructions if you don't want to keep referring back to this video. So on this tab you can set whose event it is. So we've got Lucy and Tom, the currency, the event date, the vibe of the event, the venue, the plan completion date and the gift registry. Once you've inputted these details, we can move on to the next tabs. So if we go onto the main dashboard. The main dashboard is your central hub. Everything links from here, so you're not scrolling through all of the tabs to try and find things every time you need them and every time you open the spreadsheet. Most of this tab is automated, so you won't really have to input any of this information. It's being pulled across from other tabs down here. Important thing to note is if you want to navigate through the tabs easily without scrolling, you can actually click on this navigation side panel, and if you click here it will take you to that tab. The only other thing that you'll need to do on this tab is update these hex colors here. So if you click the three dots, then edit, click on the circle you want to change to your color scheme, and then you can add your own hex color here. Moving over to the task tracker, we have a checklist that gives you a comprehensive view of exactly everything that needs to happen. So on the left hand side you can add the task and then add the category that the task falls under. If you don't see the category you're looking for, you need to add a new one. Just click this pencil button and you can add one down here by clicking add another item. You can determine who's in charge of that task. So for the example of the spreadsheet, I've just put person 1, 2, 3, but you can go in again and add whoever is in charge of each task, set a due date, a priority, high, medium or low, and any notes you have about the task. You will then be shown how many days left you have before the task needs completing. So where we've got highlighted in red is where a task is overdue. So we're currently past this date as of the time of recording. So actually 27 days in front of this, so it will show in red. When a task is done, just come over here and click check and it will cross it out, and you can carry on and complete the rest of the tasks. So moving over to the budget. The event budget tab will break down all of the expenses you have associated with the event in accordance with different categories. So we currently have categories here in the expense summary titled as rentals, food, decor, invites, etc. And this will then populate these tables here. So if I wanted to change this, for example, to flowers, it will then populate over here on this table. You can then input the expenses per category, so it will input and update the overall expense summary table. So if we go down to rentals here, and if we wanted to rent a photo booth for the event, and we have a budget of $500, I can then go across over here and actually input what the expense has been. So if I just add the date of the expense, find photo booth here on the drop down, and let's say it actually costs $450 for the event, it will update the expense breakdown and summary graphs, and it will also update the actual spend of the certain expense within that category. And you can do that all across several different categories per event. Moving over to the guest list. So the guest list tab keeps everything guest related in one place. So you've got everyone's names, if they've RSVP'd, if they have dietary requirements, if they're bringing children, all of that information. So here you can add the name of the guest. Just in the example spreadsheet, we have guest 1, 2, 3, etc. So let's just say it's Laura who's coming. Is Laura bringing any children? Yes, she's bringing 2. And if you sent her a card or not. You can also add her title, so Mrs. You can then add the address of each guest, their mobile number and email, and whether an invite card has been sent and whether they have then RSVP'd. Every time you click card, RSVP, yes or no, it will update the guest summary on the left-hand side. And then you can also add the dietary requirements of each guest, which you can update and personalise how you want. So you currently have got it set vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, nut-free and dairy-free, but feel free to change that. And if Laura, for example, is also nut-free, it will update here on the side. Going over into the next tab, which is theme ideas. In the next couple of tabs is where you can let your creative side come out when you are planning your event, and they're really fun to fill in actually. So you can start by generating some ideas of theme names. So if you're having a child's birthday party, we've just added some examples like rosy cakes, cupcake fairies, and then you can add links to different ideas for the themes that might link to Pinterest or shopping links, and then add notes on the right hand side. And if you've chosen a theme, you can click it, that's the chosen theme or not. The key elements tab is a running checklist where you can put your event ideas down on paper. It doesn't link outside of this tab, but it's really useful just to have a running line of thought on what ideas you have for the event and how that can move into different tabs, such as the brainstorming tab. And similarly, we've got the brainstorming tab where you can add ideas, categories, who suggested the idea, what status the idea is. So is it just an idea, is it in progress, or are you completing it? Any links, if this has been moved, links, if this has been moved to planning or not yet, and a rough estimated cost of what the idea is. Moving to stationery and signage. On this tab, you can cover everything from invitations to place cards to welcome signs, and you can plan and track it all in one place rather than juggling it in different documents. So you can add what the item is, a description, the colour scheme of the item, if you are going to make it yourself or purchase it, its price, how you're going to display it, and any other relevant notes or links to it. We then have another tab called the Ideas and Thoughts tab. This tab is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a running space for anything that doesn't have a home yet. Inspiration, things you've seen, things you want to look into. Just keeping things inside the planner means nothing is getting lost. We then have a checklist. The checklist is similar to the task tracker, but it will actually break down things by month, weeks, and days and day of the event. It's really useful to give yourself a bit of a timeline. It's similar to the task tracker in terms of you add the task, a deadline, and who needs to complete that task. So the current options are we have 3 months before, 6 weeks before, 2 weeks, 1 week before, the day before, and the day of the event. So you can add the date here. So this was actually set to 2025, therefore it's highlighting in red because it's technically after its due date. So you add the date, add the task, and just click it. This will then update the progress bar at the bottom of the table. Moving on to Decor. This tab is a preface to the Decor palette tab here, but it's essentially kind of a running list of different types of decor that you're going to buy for the event. So you can add the item, description, the colour scheme, if you're purchasing or renting that piece of decor, its price, where you're setting it up, and any notes and links. And it flows directly into the Decor palette here, where you can add your own colour scheme. To do this, you'll need the hex codes of the colours you're going to be using within your event. By clicking on the circle here, similarly to how we did in the main dashboard, and clicking the 3 dots, press edit, click on the circle, click on the fill colour button, and click the plus icon, and add your custom hex code here. You can then do that for all 4 of the circles. If this happens, which sometimes it does, unfortunately, if you just scale it back to the exact size of the others. You can then add images into your mood board. To do this, just go Insert, Image, and Image Over Cells. This will allow you to move the images around and create your own mood board. Moving on to the meal planner. The menu plan shows different options for starters, mains, drinks, and desserts. So you can add all of the different options for each of the courses, and whatever you end up choosing, you can add the tick icon to the side. You can add images of the courses by doing Insert Image in cell, so it doesn't move around. Once you've decided on what you're having for each course, if you tick it, it will actually update, as you can see here. You can rate which of the options is your favourite, how many you'd need, the cost, total cost, and the related vendor and any notes. As mentioned, you can do this for starter, main, desserts, and drinks. Then moving on to activities and games. This is where you can plan any games that you're doing within the event. So if you are having a baby shower, you can do baby shower games. So if you're doing a bridal shower, you can do Who Knows the Bride Best, and you can plan all of these out here. This would be perfect for a maid of honour, for example, in a bridal party, or somebody organising for someone's baby shower. Next is the vendor comparison. The vendor comparison tab is really useful if you're still in the research phase. It puts all your options side by side so you can compare quotes and make a clear decision rather than trying to remember what each supplier offered. So similarly to other tables, you add the vendor, the contact, including their phone number, email and address, their website link, their package, and their total costs and any related notes. Once you've decided which vendor you're going to go with, you can just click through here and go over to the Selected Vendors tab. Here you can see the top Sweet Pea Bakery was selected and therefore updated across to the selected vendors. Most of this will be automated, populated without you needing to add it because you've already selected this is the vendor you're going with. The only thing you'll need to do is add an image if you'd like to. So by clicking on the cell, click Insert, then Image into Cell, and you'll have an image of your selected vendor or what they offer there. Moving across to the timeline. This tab is where you can map out the bigger picture, what needs to happen on the actual day of the event itself. You can stop anything sneaking up on you and make sure the event runs smoothly. You can add an icon for each activity name, the time it happens, what is happening, so what the activity or the part of the event is, and any additional notes. The final tab is the shopping list. The shopping list handles any smaller purchases like decorations, party supplies, and bits and pieces that are easy to lose track of individually but really add up. You can then amalgamate these and also take them across to your event budget tab. It's just a simple running list of what item you purchase, what category it falls into. Remember, you can just add what that category is by clicking this edit button and adding it over here. Writing a description, where it's from, where the link is, and if you purchased it or not. With all of this information that you've inputted, a lot of it will actually populate back over to the main dashboard here. If you want to get there quickly, you can just go up here, click this, and it will take you straight back to the main dashboard where all of the information you have added has populated across this tab. That concludes the full walkthrough of the event tracker, including 20 tabs covering everything from your first brainstorm right through to the event itself. If you want to grab the planner, the link's in the description. We've had over 55,000 products sold with over 2,600 5-star reviews, so you're in great hands. If you would like the free event checklist, check the description. It's completely free and I'll send it over. And if this video is helpful, really means a lot if you could interact with it and comment down below what you're planning. I'd love to hear about it. I'll see you in the next tutorial.